Good afternoon. It's once again 5:30 on a Friday, and of course, it is time for Hotline 21 with Congressman Danny Davis, and I am delighted to be here. As a matter of fact, I just jumped off the airplane, and I am so delighted that I was able to get here in time. We got a lot of things lined up and a lot of things going on. We had a very interesting week in Washington District of Columbia. Of course, it had a great deal to do with subpoenas. It had a great deal to do with the accusing or suggesting that some of the president's cabinet people just haven't been following process and procedures, and we had to say that they have disrespected Congress and said it didn't matter what Congress said they ought to do. They're not going to comply with subpoenas. They're not going to testify. They're not going, even though the law clearly say you have to do all of these things. It seems as though they just want to take the law in their own hands and rule it. But of course, people will have a chance to have their say about it eventually. So we had that, but we did have, and one of the reasons that I'm just getting here, we had a very serious vote. Today, you've been hearing about the high water, and about the rains and the muds. And let me tell you, what affects one affects all. Yep. You may not live near the Mississippi River. You may not live on a farm. You may not think what happens with farmers has any influence or impact on you. But if farmers cannot get their crops in the ground on time, that's right. If they don't produce, it really means that the price of farm products are going to go up. And when you purchase those products, you're going to have to pay more for them. So I'm really in prayer for all of the farmers across the country, especially in the Midwest, who cannot plant, who can't get their seeds in the ground. And so we had voted, to try and figure out ways to help them out, emergency relief and all of that. And so I didn't want to miss that vote by any stretch of imagination, because that's what we are elected to do. But it also meant that I was going to have to miss an event that I always get excited about, and that's because every year about this time, we have something called Artistic Discovery, where we invite young artists to come and display their work. We invite every high school and even some elementary schools to come, and we have this great event. I was not here, but the event went on, and I'm delighted to have in the studio Miss Cherita Logan, who is our district director, but who also has been in charge for the last several years of our Artistic Discovery program, along with a number of other things that she does. And so I want to ask her if she would tell us about the Artistic Discovery. And then we got a bunch of other announcements we need to make about Father's Day and Mother's Day and all these other things that we're doing. So Cherita, welcome. And would you go right ahead and tell us what I missed?
Well, thank you very much, Congressman, and we're glad that you were able to make it home and make it home safe. A lot has been going on with the airlines. But today was our 38th annual artistic discovery, Art Without Boundaries. And we had an additional theme this year, and that was art brushes over bullets. And so all the studies and statistics show if a child is engaged in an activity, that they most likely will not be engaged in a negative activity. We hosted the art competition today at the Chicago Bulls United Center. We had over 13 schools to participate, and we had over 88 pieces of art. Some of the schools included the Lighthouse for the Blind. Some included Ray Graham Technical Training Center, and that's the school where the children have autism. And last year we had a winner. He could not use his hands, so they put a brush on a helmet and put it on his head, and he was able to draw. So we had those children participate today. And we had our first place winner. We'll be showing that art a little later on. We had a great attendance. We had Mr. Ted Ellis, who is a renowned artist, as our guest speaker. Some of you all may have heard of Mr. Ellis. And so we had a Pigment Inc. That's another art organization. They have a great magazine. And so we had all kind of folks there today to come out and support the art. Some of our judges, Deborah Craven was one of our judges. And so we had a fantastic time. The kids were very excited. The room was full. It was high energy. And it was just a place to be on today.
Well, it sounds like everybody had a good time, and we certainly want to thank the United Center, Mr. Howard Pizer, and all of the folks over there, and the Bulls, and the Red Wings, and the Black Hawks, and the athletic teams that are there. We want to thank them for letting us host the event there. They do it every year, and we want to thank all of those principals and teachers and parents who came out and gave the young people a boost. This is a great time of the year. We have graduations, we have all kind of things going on, so we know we had a good time. Why don't we take a look? Is this the winning piece of art?
Yes, sir. Our winner this year came from Proviso East. She is our first place winner. And this art is going to hang in Washington, D.C. in the halls of the Rotunda for a year.
Well, let's look at it. So that's the winner.
That's our winner.
And so, in addition to having her work hang in the corridor between the office buildings and the house, did she win prizes?
She also won a trip to the National Art Competition. She also won a hotel accommodation, so she won a hotel accommodations for 2. She won airline tickets for 2. So
that means that she and her parent or she and her teachers will be able to take that trip together?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what that means. She also won a scholarship for the summer to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. In addition to that, she also won some tickets for the Bulls. And she also won a brand new laptop donated by Larry Williams from State Farm.
All right, so Larry Williams, as he's done every year for I don't know how many years, donated a computer for the winner. And in addition to that, she got all these other prizes. So we want to congratulate her. She comes from a great school, Proviso East. Of course, that's the same school that Doc Rivers came from, the guy that you see on television coaching basketball in the NBA. And his son is also an NBA basketball player now. I saw him the other night. So, hey, we got some great people in the 7th Congressional District. We give a good shout out to the winner who come from Proviso East out there in Maywood, Illinois. Well, you know, you can't win all the time. Next year, maybe it'll be somebody from Marshall,
That's right,
or
because
from Farragut,
that's
or
right.
from Crane, or some of these other schools. So, right on, it was a great day. I know we got one caller on the phone. Why don't we go ahead and take that caller? Caller, are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Connie? I got 2 comments. Now, Donald Trump always talk about the police doing a good job. This is for your guest. Okay, how can Donald Trump say, well, they protecting the people at the school? It was another shooting and people attacking people at the mosque. It's still going on. This is for your my second guest. My second comment, Connie Davis.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Well, you know, if we can keep our young people
at the sanctified yesterday. What do you think about that?
Well, I was thinking of how important it is that we keep young people's mind engaged on other things. And if we could keep people involved, then we can reduce the shooting and we can give them positive things to do, and they won't dwell on the negativity. And that's why things like this art competition and the other things that go on with our teachers and students are so important. So you are so right, James. If we can keep things moving, then we won't have as many shootings and other kind of things. So thank you so much for your call. We always look forward to it, and we will move on. Now, Cherita, I know
Yes,
that
sir.
we got a bunch of things coming up. Of course, this week is Sunday is Mother's Day, and we want to wish all of the mothers
Yes, we
a
do.
happy Mother's Day, and we also want to wish people a happy Mother's Day because the origin of Mother's Day had something to do with the notion of peaceful existence. So we wish everybody not only a happy Mother's Day, but we also wish them a peaceful
Yes.
Mother's Day.
Yes.
But we've got some things coming up that relate to fathers and all of that. So why don't you tell us about some of that?
Well, Congressman, on June the 1st, this coming June the 1st, we're engaged in your Fatherhood Initiative. And under the Fatherhood Initiative, there are a coalition of organizations who meet on a regular basis who have come together to take a group of children to Sheridan Correctional Center to visit with their dads for Father's Day. There have been many organized organizations and groups that will take children to see their moms and interact with their moms, but there was none that was doing Father's Day, and so the congressman decided that we should come together and organize that trip. It's going to be June the 1st, and what we do is organize the family members who have someone in Sheridan Correctional Center, and those men are generally those who are going to be getting out fairly soon, a couple of years, a year or two. And so we do what we call our family reconnection program, and it's been very, very successful. In addition to the trip, when we come back, we're going to have some organized activity for the moms so that the children can kind of shake off the trip. We'll have a family day outside, and actually it'll be in front of our office in the street.
So what we're doing, we are taking children to see their fathers in the penitentiary. There are thousands of fathers in the penitentiary who have children that they don't see, and they sometimes lose contact with those children. So as a combination of our reentry work and our child welfare work and our fatherhood work, all at the same time, we have 2 buses that will be going to the Sheridan Penitentiary with children to see their fathers. And so we look forward to that. It's a great event.
Yes.
It's always a wonderful kind of thing, and we're just excited about it, and excited about it.
Yes, we are.
Well, let's go to the phone and take this call. Caller, are you there?
Yes, Congressman, and it's a great day to be on God's green earth. And to your guests, you are a wonderful person. And listen, another thing, happy Mother's Day to all the ladies and all your listeners. Please have a pleasant day and a great day. You know, you look at things on life, and it's so wonderful. I mean, look at even me. I'm talking again. Now, here she's helping people that have their spouses see but can't do certain things. And look at that picture that I just saw. I can't draw a stick figure that looks right. And I think I'm pretty good. But here this person has the ability to able to do that. And here's someone else that's walking around on God's green earth destroying things, destroying human beings. They need to just look at this picture and wish we could see the person who will draw that. It's just a great day to be on God's green earth. And I know it's good because I not said not one thing about Donald Duck. So listen, please continue to keep helping people, and he will go and he's going to reward you one day. Listen, my speech is about to leave, but listen, thank you so much for taking the call. Crystal, happy Mother's Day to you. And listen, let me get out there so I can hear your response. And Congressman, thank you for taking the call.
Well, thank you, and the response is that it is so good to hear you. Your speech is coming back. I mean, we hear you loud and clear, and we're just pleased that the good Lord has seen fit to restore your health and bring you back into the world of engagement and involvement. And we know it's going to get better each and every week. So thank you not only for your call, but thank you for being engaged and for being full of hope and possibility. You know, we're making a lot of progress with health care. And I think that your state of being is an example of that. One can be sick, they can have a stroke, they can have a debilitating little activity, an event in their life, but then they can come right on back and keep on pushing. So thank you very much. Cherita, we got some other things coming up, I'm certain. In addition to the Father's Day activity, what are some of those other things? I know that we've got a press conference coming up on tomorrow to talk about the opiate crisis with State Representative LaShawn Ford and some other people. That's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we are looking forward to that. And then we have another press conference with the McDonald's Corporation
Yes.
coming up on Tuesday. That's going to be at 10 o'clock, and it's going to be at the McDonald's restaurant at 23 North Western Avenue. And of course, you know, people come and they come there all the time anyway. We've got a great meeting on Monday night talking about what is the role of law enforcement in our schools. What should policemen be doing? And that meeting is going to be at 6 o'clock at 1425 North Trip at the West Park Academy at 6 o'clock on Monday. So they're all we've got a bunch of meetings coming up on Monday during the day over at the new landmark Missionary Baptist Church. One's at 10:30, and the other one is at 1:30. So we got a lot of things going on. There probably are some others. I know we've got a job fair coming up and some other kind of things. You want to talk about those a little bit?
Well, Congressman, I want to go right back, though, to the Fatherhood in the Neighborhood Block by Block initiative. So organizations can nominate a male that has had some kind of impact in another child's or children's lives. It could be a father, a stepfather, an uncle, a local mentor. Doesn't have to be someone who's on television, but just someone who's going about his everyday life, but making some kind of positive change or impact in a child's life. So you can nominate that person to get an award on that June the 1st afternoon. You can call our office to get the nomination forms, to have us send them to you, email them to you. And so we want everybody to be engaged and help us lift up those fathers, lift up those men, those males who've been making a difference, but just would like for somebody to say thank you. Matter of fact, they don't even need somebody to say thank you. They just do it because they do it, but we want to say thank you and acknowledge their work.
So we're calling that an Outstanding Fatherhood Award.
Yes, sir, we are.
Just men who have demonstrated in some significant way what it means to be a father. I was at a funeral last Saturday for Reverend William Jenkins over at the Lively Stone Missionary Baptist Church. And let me tell you, his sons and daughters put on such a tribute to him in terms of what he had meant as a father to them until it was just unbelievable. It was just unbelievable. And there are outstanding fathers in our community who don't get the recognition. We always talk about deadbeat dads and those men who are not living up to their responsibilities of fatherhood. But then we've got all of these who are just doing unbelievable things. And we want to pay tribute to some of those. So if you know any and you want to nominate them, just give our office a call and let us know who they are so we can reach out to them and give them some of the acknowledgement and some of the recognition that they ought to have.
Yeah, Congressman, I remember you talked about role models and children not identifying with role models, and a role model was a person that just got up and went to work every day. A role model was the mailman that was delivering the mail. A role model was the person who worked on the garbage truck. A role model was someone who drove the bus. And so men, and this helps us also shape up our children so that they don't think that their glitter and gold is an objection that makes you successful, that there are many, many role models, and we just need to identify them for our children.
And you know, there are lots of people who just see the Safer Foundation is having its annual gala and fundraiser on Saturday, May the 18th. Is that tomorrow?
No, fortunately, it's next week.
It's next week. I'm trying to get ahead, but I get to be afraid and saying, hey, these times are coming up, because there are so many things going on, honest to goodness. But that's next week. Well, let me tell you, everything has been good. It's been a good week. Again, we want to congratulate our winner for the artistic discovery. And again, the student, give his name.
Her name
again.
is Kaylin. Kaylin, and I can't think of Kaylin's last name at the moment.
And
But-
she is a student at the Proviso East High School. They're doing a great job out there in that district. Their district have 3 schools, Proviso East, Proviso West, and the Math and Science Academy. And we want to congratulate all of those who've been engaged and involved and helped her reach this milestone in her career. Anything else before we
Well,
sign off?
Congressman, we just want to thank you for all the work that you do and all the direction that you give and all the inspiration that you give. I was someplace yesterday, and a woman heard me talking. I said, "Oh, that's my boss on the television." She said, "Oh, he is great. We had a problem. We called him. He got right on it. He handled it himself." And so they were very appreciative. And so I just want, on behalf of the community, just thank you for all the work that you've done on our behalf.
Let me tell you, I feel bad because someone called me today. Their son was having difficulty graduating tomorrow at Howard University. And we tried to reach the people there, and we really weren't able to get in touch with anybody. He's going to graduate, but he may not be able to march.
Oh, wow.
So have a great week. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, do something good for yourself and even something better for somebody else. We'll see you next week.